Good morning, mid-Missouri. As you're waking up and heading out the door, we're going to be seeing very similar conditions to what we saw just yesterday, starting out back into the lower 60s across much of central Missouri. Eventually, by about 8 a.m., 65 degrees, and getting back into the lower 70s by 9 a.m. The ride back home, well, going to be a tad bit warmer. Going to see highs back into the mid-80s, eventually 85 degrees, going to be our afternoon high across much of central Missouri. Looking at some partly cloudy skies as we head towards the afternoon hours. So going to be seeing that UV index at a level 8, which means at sunburn time, going to be looking at about 20 minutes or less, but still tracking very high levels of allergens across much of central Missouri. So allergy medication going to be a good idea. Now taking a look at the ABC 17 Storm Track Future Track. Not going to see anything in terms of precipitation today. What I really want you to pay attention to is going to be the wind direction, as we're going to have a cold front start to slice back through the area. So we start to head a little bit later into the morning hours, still kind of out of the southwest on the lower level 4 winds. And eventually a cold front will start to creep in from the northwest. So closer to 3 p.m., we're going to see a hard change from that wind direction back out of the north, which eventually is going to be leading to some even cooler temperatures as we head off into Wednesday and Thursday. Now, not going to see any moisture tied to that system, going to be looking dry and just seeing plenty of sunshine throughout much of central Missouri throughout the next several days. But it is going to be affecting our temperatures. We're going to be seeing highs back towards the 80-degree mark into Wednesday, maybe just below into Thursday at 79 degrees. And still well below average even into Friday, but a warm-up is on the way as winds eventually switch out of the southwest. So heading off into this upcoming weekend, eventually going to be reaching back to lower 90s. You're seeing that cold front, but really we're going to be blanketed with a high-pressure system back over Colorado, which is going to be keeping us on a drier note here in central Missouri. But we look a little bit further out into the extended forecast, 6 to 10 days away. We're going to be looking well above average in our temperatures, so if you're not a big fan of summer-like temperatures, well, it's not looking too good for you. Now, we are officially going to be a hurricane for Idalia. We're going to be tracking the wind sustained at 75 miles per hour, which is going to be a Category 1. That center of pressure going to continue to drop as it makes its way through portions of the Gulf of Mexico. It has slowed down just a tad bit, so moving about to the northeast at about 7 knots right now. Eventually, expected to make landfall as we head off into Wednesday morning in Florida. Could see it up to a Category 3. Then it continues its path off to the northeast, making its way through southeastern portions of Georgia, eventually hitting the Carolinas, and then dipping back out to the east as we head towards this upcoming weekend. So going to be tracking very dangerous conditions with that. We're going to see the storm surge being anywhere from 8 to 12 feet. Could see winds up to 135 to 145 miles per hour and some damaging flash flooding. Now heading off to this weekend here in central Missouri, on the other note, going to be looking pretty pleasant, just going to be seeing some warmer temperatures for this upcoming holiday weekend with highs back into the lower 90s.